This episode of Spectre Sound Studios is brought to you by LALAL.AI. How many times have you ever listened to a recorded piece of music and said to yourself, wow, I wish I could get that guitar sound, or wow, I wonder what's going on there. How do those drums sound that good? What if I told you that technology now exists where you can do exactly that? You can take one of your favorite pieces of recorded music and remove the vocals, or strip out the guitars to listen to what's going on, or basically remix the track to how you want to do it. LALAL.AI reached out to me a while ago and said, hey, we'd really like to sponsor a video on your show. And I'm like, I don't know, I've never heard of you guys. Let me check it out and see if there's any kind of value going on here. And all I can say is, hell yes, this is super cool, because it lets you do the things you only used to be able to dream about doing. Let me show you what's going on here. Basically, you drop a file into the app. Let me take an old mix of mine by a band called Protocol, and you tell it what you want. So we can separate this into two tracks. We can have vocal and instrumental, take the drums out, so that goes on a separate track, bass, voice, and noise. Interesting. I have no idea what the hell that is. Acoustic guitar, electric guitar, piano, synthesizer. That's still in beta, apparently. But I've been messing around with a couple of the basic functions, and we're just going to set this up to do vocal and instrumental right now. And it's going to upload and strip it apart and give me just a little preview. We'll see what's going on here. Okay, so it's basically giving us a little preview of the work it's done here, and I'm going to drop these in a Reaper just so I can get a quick listen of what's going on. And then I'm going to process accordingly. Oh, wow, look at that. There's our vocal track right here. Like, here's the original. This is an old piece I did called Soul Intention by a group called Protocol. Did this a while back. You know, you ever get those times where you listen to your old mixes and you just cringe? Yeah, this is one of those occasions. But anyway. Wow, that's loud. Okay, so that was the mix I'm working with. Because this is a sponsored video, I'm not going to be using any commercially available music. I just don't want to step on any toes when it comes to copyright and that kind of thing and get in all kinds of trouble. But I am going to circle back on that near the end of the video. I'm going to show you guys how this works to get pretty much any kind of guitar sound you would ever want. And this is really the whole price of admission, in my opinion. More on that in a few minutes. Anyway, so we check this out. We just take a listen here. We're going to listen to... This is our background music, and the vocals should be gone. Okay. It's definitely taking a little bit of the guitar out with it, but if we listen to what's going on with the vocal here.
In the darkness, there it has like the heat on a summer's night.
That's just the preview, though, so let me just see if I can remix that and take that vocal down a little bit.
In the darkness, there it has like the heat on a summer's night.
So I just basically buried the vocal there. If I take it out completely, you can hear a bit of pumping going on. Okay, this is a full-on metal mix. That's probably going to happen. But if you wanted to make your own karaoke tracks, this would probably do the trick. And anybody at the bar who went to go see you would probably be too drunk to notice anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit process the entire file and let it do its thing. And I'm going to come right back. Hey guys, just going to break in here for a second. I almost forgot to mention this, that LALAL.AI now has a referral program as well, so you can earn yourself extra time on the program by referring your friends. Pretty cool. Now back to the show. All right, we're back. So what I did during the break was I actually uploaded a couple of songs so I could strip them out, because I wanted to hear the different formats. I wanted to hear how it handled MP3 versus, say, like a WAV file, because I am hearing a little bit of artifacting going on in the vocals when we pull them out. And it really doesn't matter the format. We're going to get a little bit of that. So for, a little bit of remixing, not that big a deal. But for straight up stripping tracks out, it is kind of noticeable. Doesn't really matter the format.
There it has like the heat on a summer's night.
It's not the cleanest vocal extraction. I mean, then again, it's probably has something to do with the source material. There's an awful lot of top end going on in those guitars there. But, if I want to do a quick remix and turn those vocals down, I've now got a second track right here.
What's the reason?
And again, for drunk karaoke tracks, that's absolutely fine. Like I said, nobody's going to notice. One of the reasons I picked this track was because there's a female vocal going on here as well. I want to see how well it not only did with, the aggressive male vocal, but the female vocal too. Yeah, there's a real cool breakdown here. We get going with the acoustics and whatnot. This is kind of fun. I back that up a bit. Here we go. My editor, Jack, is actually a guitar player in this band, and I'm sure he's yelling at me, "No, it's here, you idiot!" I'm sorry, I probably recorded this close to a decade ago, so my memory's a little foggy at this point. What can I say? I'm getting old. No, that's not it. Where the hell is it? There she is. Yeah, that worked. That's great. That really grabbed her voice. Not his voice, but her voice. Okay, I wasn't quite expecting it to get that. Sometimes it doesn't, nail the background vocals, but to go from a male to a female voice like that, that's kind of impressive. Okay, so that's pretty cool. The added bonus here is if you go into the split files and whatnot, you can adjust, drums, bass, whatever, and strip that out. The great thing is here, so if you're a recording engineer and you've got a situation, say, where the client, 2 years after you hand them the finished CD, says, "Hey, could you turn the bass up on my disc?" You can literally just grab all the files off the disc, throw them up on LALAL.AI, and make a slight adjustment, and then hand them the disc back and make sure you charge them $75 an hour for the privilege of doing that. So yes, it is possible. And yes, I have had bands do that 2 years after the fact. Say, "Hey, can you turn the bass up on this disc?" It's like, musicians, they make this job so much fun. One other thing was I was kind of curious about how the artifacting and how it worked with MP3 versus WAV. And it is pretty much the same regardless. Here's another track. You guys have heard this as a regular on the show for like the last decade. More protocol stuff here. Hear this on my background music all the time. So there's our guitar track and our instrumentation. It takes those cleans out really nice. Wow. That's cool. Not only will it go from male to female vocal, but it will also differentiate and it will also actually grab the cleans and the dirty guitars on the same pass-through. That's pretty cool too. I wasn't expecting that. Nice job, guys. Wow. And again, this is just great if I want to remix something real quick. I can bring the guitars down a little bit and keep the drums in place. Bring those down a bit. Here we go. Okay, so that's pretty cool. For drunk karaoke tracks, that works. For quick remixes, for really nitpicking clients, especially if it's several years after the fact and you forgot what the hell happened to your multi-track disc, this could save your ass. It really could. That's pretty neat, I gotta say. Now, here's the application I think this really shines on. Now, I can't play any commercial mixes for this, but I can at least clue you guys into what I've been doing. Now, a few weeks ago, I mentioned learning EQ to mimic guitar sounds off some records and whatnot. My good buddy LALAL was kind enough to give me some tracks off the original Storm record, and I started using the learning EQ to kind of match that guitar sound. I'm like, okay, that's really cool. It's like, if only I could get my hands on guitar tracks from some of my favorite records and some of my favorite tones, like Carcass and In Flames. And well, you know what? What I was able to do here was I was able to take some of those mixes and then drop them into LALAL.AI and then pull the guitar sounds out of there, even with all that artifacting going on, and apply a learning EQ to it and apply it to my own guitar sounds. Let me show you what I wound up getting. So this was the original mix here. This is something from my 6505 demo, which it should have just come out not too long ago. If you haven't seen that video, I'll have a link to it at the end. There's some really cool stuff in there. If we take a listen to my original guitar sound here, here's like 2 tracks. So this is straight off the 6505 into my angle cab. Now, I like this sound a lot. I really do. Oh! What does that sound like? Oh, damn! There it is. That's got that grinding top end that the Clayman record was so famous for. I also grabbed something off Carcass Heartwork as well, just the EQ sound off the guitar. It's got that really deep bottom end, but it's definitely got that, that Celestion T75 sound going on as well, which is pretty crazy. And I did a couple test mixes here. So what I did here was one in Flame style, one Carcass style, and then a super blend of the two, because I did 4 rhythm tracks just to kind of get my own thing going on. Because this is the thing about digital technology. It's easy to mimic somebody else's tone now. It's like, oh, we can just lift it off a record, applying a learning EQ and Bob's Your Uncle. But where's the fun in that? I don't want to sound exactly like somebody else. I want to kind of have my own thing going on in my mixes too. Let me show you what I mean. Here's that in Flame style guitar sound. Now, even though it's got that sound going on, it's not quite right for this song. It's a little too hashy, in my opinion. But if we take that and go over to the Carcass style, and that's pretty good too, but it's kind of lacking the definition as well. Again, it all comes down to dialing in the guitars to suit the music you're working with. And then we go over here to Carcass and In Flames blend. Check this out. Over here. That is super cool. That would be something I could definitely use on a client's record, especially if I'm not quite getting them the sound that they wanted. I could literally pop in a disc, pull the guitars out with LALAL.AI, and then use a learning EQ to apply it to what they're doing, and then tweak so it works in the context of what the band is doing. Now, I wouldn't recommend, duplicating somebody else's guitar sound exactly. Come on. I mean, like, it's bad enough everybody already sounds the same. You can definitely abuse this technology. That's not what I'm encouraging here. What I'm saying is use it to lift a sound off a record and apply it to yours, but apply it in such a context that you haven't lost the band's identity at the same time. You're just getting things more into the ballpark of what you're looking for. See, I would have never known that my guitars weren't bright enough until I started applying them here, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe I need to figure out a way how to do this a little bit better, because now I've got a good idea of what's going on with my guitar sound versus some of my favorites, and it tells me I need some more information going on, probably from the 2 to 7K region in my guitar sound. That means moving things maybe onto the dust cap a little bit more, maybe adding a little bit more top end in the guitars and a little bit less bottom. And let's be very clear here, I would not have been able to figure that out without LALAL.AI. It made it that much easier. All the months and months and months and months of trial and error that I've been doing over the years and taking notes and all that stuff, that just got thrown out the window because now I've got a proper jumping off point. All right, so head on over to LALAL.AI. Check it out for yourself. You can even try it out for free. They'll give you 10 minutes of material to play with. That might be 1/8 of your typical modern prog desktop epic, but hey, whatever. It should be enough. They've also got a couple of packages here for 30 and 15. I've got the 90-minute pack. Seems to work just fine for what I need it for. And yeah, they give you the whole rundown here, whatnot. It's not stupidly expensive, that's for sure. It's definitely worth checking out. So if you've got something you wish you could dive a little bit deeper into to listen to what's going on with the vocals or the drums or the guitars or anything like that, check out LALAL.AI. It really does deliver the goods in terms of, giving you some flexibility in some of your favorite records. That's for sure. Definitely a cool piece of tech. I can't wait to see where this goes. This is going to be some interesting stuff. All right, links for everything are in the the description below, like always. And if you found the video useful, please hit the subscribe button. And if you want to hear more about that 6505 combo that I got for a whopping $325 and how it will go toe-to-toe of the best I've got here, click this link right here.